I've always had a bias for children and the marginalized sector of our community. Like, for example, the women, issues against violence against women. We've done stories on that, on children who have been abused, children who have been abandoned, families, the causes, some of the problems that have arisen from the overseas Filipino worker phenomenon. Because when we were doing stories, a series of stories on overseas Filipino workers, we followed them to the places where there were a large concentration of Filipinos during that time. Well, first of all, it was completely unexpected, and it was most welcome. It was a welcome recognition for the work that we had done. And I say we because we work as a team. The probe team has always been a group of people, not just one person. So this was in recognition of the work that the probe team had done over the last 25 years. And the Marshall McLuhan Fellowship allowed me to share that story with different groups in Canada, because the Canadian government had planned this McLuhan Fellowship to go from, I think my trip went from Vancouver to Ottawa to Montreal to, where else did we go? 4 places in Canada. And they had made arrangements for me to speak to different groups, also Filipino groups, to talk about what the work we had done and to share experiences with them. They brought me to the University of British Columbia in Vancouver, where I met with a group of Filipino students and Filipinos who live in Vancouver. They got together for one evening. We had a session in one of the small auditoriums at the UBC, and it was very good, because these Filipinos had been living in Vancouver for quite a number of years. I mean, those who were residents there. We were talking about their own experiences. Like, for example, I remember one of the longtime residents there was thinking of coming home, and he was asking, is it worth coming home? Because the question at the back of their minds always is, they'd really want to come home, but what forced them to go to Canada is to seek greener pastures, to get better educational opportunities for their children. And now that they're hearing stories about the Philippines moving forward, they're asking, is it time for us to come home? And if we come home, what can we look forward to? You have to enjoy what you're doing, because when you enjoy what you're doing, it does not feel like work. And journalism is a very demanding profession. It demands full-time attention. You can't do it part-time. It demands that you be genuinely interested in what you're doing. It demands that you are not thinking in terms of how much am I going to earn before I do something. It has to be, how interesting is this to me before you do something. And to be generally interested and involved in journalism, you have to like it. It's not a job, really. It's a vocation, I think. And like we know, a vocation is something that you enjoy, that you're dedicated to because you love it.